Good afternoon from Bali, everyone. It's Anifa Menon from hearthealthbrainhealth.com, encouraging healthy grieving and mindful actions. Today, I thought was a great time to make this video because time is not linear, and it's something that this mind has definitely been reflecting on for a while. Who knows how long? Time is not linear. And most people don't think this way. Most people think there's the past, things that happened yesterday or before is the past, and there's the future, things that happen tomorrow or farther is the future, and then there's the present now. And we know, most people know, that now is the only time that is ever present, but we can say that we can actually do anything. So if I think about the past and I have regrets about the past, can't I bring them into the present? So it happened 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 15 years ago. But when I think about it now, it feels like it's just happened. If I think about the future, and I can think 5, 10, 15 years into the future, I can bring that into now. And so people sometimes do this with visualization. I thought I could give examples that in the past, something not so good happened, and I think about it today, and it feels so fresh, and all the feelings and emotions that I had at that time, I can bring right here, right now, even though it could be a day ago, it could be 10 years ago, but it feels as fresh now with the mind's focus on it. If I think about the future, and I know I did this for schooling, and I wanted to be a doctor, I could totally see myself as a doctor. I could totally, was so excited anytime I'd see a doctor. It's like, oh, one day I'll be like that, or I hope to be like that. And all of that was already future thinking, bringing it into that present moment. Then, today, I know a lot more about quantum physics, I know about quantum mechanics, I know about spirituality, things that I probably knew at some level without conscious understanding. Conscious understanding took a little bit of education, and I'm not saying that everyone needs education. I find that what we're interested in, we look into, or it comes to us, and where we're interested, the mind either remembers something it already knew or learns new information very easily. And so I thought I'd start today with this quotation, and again emphasizing this time is not linear. This quotation says, "Time isn't linear, nor is memory," as my example said. "You always remember more clearly things you're emotionally close to at any given moment." Things you're emotionally close to at any given moment. So if someone does something really nice to me, with me, for me, anything really nice, I can remember all the times in the past that they did really nice things to me. I can do the same thing about things that were not so nice. If someone does something not so nice to me, I remember 10 times that they have not been so nice to me in the past, and all of that I bring into the present moment. Now, you could even think about today. If I love schooling, as you know, and if you are schooling or learning something in any way, or have up till now, you know that when you're in a class that you really enjoy, time goes like this. It's so fast. It's like, how did that, let's say each class in a school is 1 hour long, and one class goes so fast. I love that teacher. I love this information, and it's so much fun. How did that hour pass? But if I'm in a class that I'm not interested in the information, I really don't want to be there. I really don't like how that teacher teaches, or they don't like me, and that doesn't make me feel good, or I don't like the student I sit beside, or anything. It doesn't feel so good. Oh, that hour seems like forever, doesn't it? So this idea, we think, oh, I just don't see how time went so slow here and so fast there. And we can link it to, I liked this one, but I don't like this one, if we understand this. Then it shows that our mind has a power that can make time feel longer, or can make time seem shorter. So this is truth in actual reality when we are looking at things from physics. This is science, looking at time. Albert Einstein said this fantastic quotation which says, "Time is what prevents everything from happening at once." Time is what prevents everything from happening at once. So if we say everything is this present moment, and if our minds were in a way able to see everything at once, everything would be happening at once. But imagine if I knew what's happening there and here, even in this, just this environment, if my mind was able to listen to the birds singing and the air moving and the feeling of my emotions, if I'm excited about this presentation that I'm sharing with you, all of this happening all at once might be too much information for my brain to really take in. And so it allows me to focus on one thing at a time. So here I am focusing on this video, and even though all of that other stuff is happening, I'm not thinking about what color the sky is. I'm not thinking about, but I can be thinking about all of it and still focusing here. And so this idea of time, again, time is a mental construct, time and space. And who better to hear that quotation from than Einstein? Then there is a spiritual quote that is by Lao Tzu, and he says, time is a created thing. To say, I don't have time, is like saying, I don't want to. Now, how many people say, I don't have time? I think that throughout the whole world, actually, this is a very common statement. Oh, I don't have time for this. I really want to do meditation, but I don't have time for that. I want to do my prayers. I don't have time for that. I want to travel. I don't have time for that. Of course, money comes into that too for many people. But let's say the very simple things. I'd so like to have a rest in the middle of the day, but I don't have time for that because I got to finish this. So even though I finish work early, I've got to do this. So I fill all of my time with tasks, so I don't have time for it. Yet, as I just mentioned, we can expand time or contract time based on our emotions and our thoughts about it. So this is interesting, that do we think of time as a blessing, or do we think that, oh, I'm limited for time? People who feel limited in any way, and I would say all of us do at some times, will not see the value of time. It feels like it's just rushing by. It feels like nothing gets accomplished because in my mind, I've already put an expectation on this is what should be finished in this much time. And it's interesting, this whole idea of I don't have time. I'm going to link it to schooling, and yes, part of my experience here in Indonesia. I can say that from Ontario, when I came from Ontario, Canada, to Indonesia, my awareness was very clear about how many emotions are not being expressed in the world. And it's usually linked with sadness, and we had just been finishing with the second, third round of COVID at that time. And so we saw so many people passing away. We saw so many people not healthy. We saw so many people worried, so many people grieving, so many people fearful. All of those emotions haven't just gone away. They're here as energies. And many of us pick up these emotions without even recognizing it. I come back to schooling. We don't teach people how to recognize that all of this is happening simultaneously. So just because we're not in the time that the news is constantly feeding, this is what's happening, we can know that there's still a lot of emotions happening in the world. So when I speak about or recommend that people talk about this in schools, I feel that we're not noticing the things that are really, really obvious. So when we see that people are smiling and finishing assignments and going through schooling to finish this to get to that, what is the emotional state that they're in is happening simultaneously. Now, if we ignore that, because if I see they're happy with the class that I've taught, then obviously everyone's fine. If I suddenly have a child who's committed suicide in a class, I would suddenly feel, oh my God, why aren't they focusing on emotions? And my child wasn't feeling like they could share this with anyone, and there was no support around them, and they didn't even speak anything because we're so trained to hold everything in. It's not only in Indonesia, it's in Canada. I felt it in Canada. I was aware of it. I'm aware of it now, though we don't speak about it. So I'm speaking about it. Today, I want to make sure that you know that this hasn't just been hidden away, and it's not that we don't know. We know that every family goes through its own ups and not so high times, and everyone is working through various deaths or losses or illness. And this is not to talk about something that's not so pleasant. The fact is, we can learn so much from things that are not so easy. But because we make silence behind it, don't talk about this. This is not good. Don't let people know. And I'm worried about this, but I shouldn't say this. If I don't express it, it doesn't come out and it isn't made easy to work through. And we can make things much easier. We do not have to wait until people get into addictions and or death or crime. All of these things are a result of the fact that we're not addressing what's there and we know it, but we say we don't have time to do that because I have to teach this because that's what's going to let them graduate to get to the next year. Again, happening in Canada, North America, and I believe around the world. I've certainly seen it in Indonesia, and I've seen it in Canada quite a bit. Today I want to bring our attention to this because the more we push it away to work on, what's important, the things that we are making time for, let's recognize the things that need some time of focus right here, right now, to recognize that how I feel. So this isn't even about going to the students. This is right from teacher level. How do I feel? Am I overwhelmed? Is that overwhelmed energy going to affect the students? No, I'm finishing the class I need to finish, but in my mind, I've got all these worries. Worry energy is an energy that's also shared. Fear is also shared. If someone is ill in my own family and I'm a teacher, I am going to share some of that energy, though I don't have to speak about it. This is why when we talk about what we speak about, it's way later than the amount of emotions that have gone into an experience. Then we speak about it and then we take action. If we don't speak about it to normalize it, that this is happening, and just our thoughts about it and our intention to work through it, and the fact that spiritual energy is working through all of us to help all of us and is helping all of us, if we ignore it, we're ignoring truth. So today, you know that I love truth, and because time isn't linear, I thought I would finish with this quotation, which many may have heard before. This one says it's by an unknown author, though someone might know an author for this. I'm reading this quotation, which says, "The biggest illusion in life is thinking that we have more time." The biggest illusion in life is thinking we have more time. Today, recognize each moment that you spend the intention in sharing kindness, compassion, and speaking about even not easy things allows the opening for another to speak about it too, and normalizing this rather than looking at it as this is a problem, this is something not good. And I do know that in North America, and I believe around the world, the same thing happens, that if someone expresses something that's not so easy, suddenly can even be labeled in a workplace that I don't know how stable this person's mind is. They're really grieving this loss that they've had. They're really upset. And just to be able to listen to someone for 5 minutes without trying to fix it, just to listen and to recognize that, wow, we are all going through something, and not making it about our story. You tell me about someone who passed away in your life, it's like, oh yeah, someone passed away in my life. That's not the time to talk about it. When someone is expressing, just spend a few minutes to share compassionately and to recognize, yes, we are all going through this. And the more we allow ourselves to express it within our own families and our societies, the world actually becomes stronger. Today, I wish that for all of us, and certainly for every school all over the world. I wish you a fantastic day or night ahead, and I hope you remember, transform your mind and transform your life. Have a great day or night, everyone.